doing good out there. So I wanted to get on here and I've been married for several years. I've been married for about 7, 8 years now, and a thought weighed over me as I was driving. What would I tell my 20-year-old self if I can go back in time and see myself playing basketball? I'm coming over to the bench to sit down and rest. What would I tell myself at that age from what I know now? So the things that was really weighing down on me today as I was driving is how to select a future wife. That really weighed in on my head this morning when I was driving. And I was like, I'm looking at some of these younger guys and I'm like, y'all need wisdom. Y'all need wisdom. And it's okay that you may not know what to do at this point of your life because you're still young. You're still able to make some of these mistakes. And it's okay to make these mistakes. But I wanted to pass along some of my wisdom that I learned to someone that's younger than me, because I wish someone else would have did that with me. So here we go. I'm just gonna say it out loud. So there are some things that I wanted to get off my chest. What's going on, Chicken Explorers? How you doing? So I'm talking about the wisdom that I wanted to pass along to people in their 20s, young guys in their 20s, because a lot of times during that age, we have no idea what we're doing. Like, there's so much of the world that we see through 20-year-old eyes, and everything just looks glitz and glamour. But we don't know the end result of a lot of these things we're looking at. We don't know the dangers of the traps that we possibly can fall into at 20 years old. So I wanted to get on here and kind of like give my advice to guys in their 20s, because we've all been there. What's going on? Thanks for joining. Brawl Pro, what's going on? So a lot of guys in their 20s, it's easy to look at a woman and, a beautiful woman, right? As us guys, we're visual creatures. We see a beautiful woman walking across the street. What's the first thing you're going to be thinking about? What's one of the first things you're going to notice about a woman? Is that body. That's one of the first things you're going to notice about a woman. Does she look good? Does she have the figure 8 waistline? Is she sexy? All of these things. This is our nature as men. We will look at a woman and we're going to judge her based on how she looks. Before she even says anything, she don't have to say anything yet. But we're going to look at this woman and we're going to say in our minds, I probably should talk to her. She looking good right now. That's a lot of us guys, and that's normal. But the thing is, this is what growing older has taught me. As you mature mentally, you start to really think, all right, it's more than just a fat ass, right? Let me see. It's a distraction to her core. Yep. What's up, Jay Mills? It's more than just a fat ass. I'm gonna be honest. As you get older, as a man, you really start to think about it. And you're like, for every woman you see on the street that you don't know, more than likely, she's gonna have a nice body. She's gonna have a nice body. But the question you have to ask yourself, and you may not be mature enough at that age to really understand this, the question you have to ask yourself is, where's her mind at? What kind of mind is attached to that fat ass? And that's what a lot of us at that age don't think about. Because we're so filled with our hormones at that age, our hormones are raging, so we really don't think that deeply enough. And I can say that because at that age, that's all I was thinking about. Sex. That was all I was thinking about. I wasn't thinking about, oh man, does she have life insurance? Hold on for a second. And you're just looking at her like, you're looking at her body, but you're like, oh yeah, does she have life insurance? Like, really? Are you gonna really think that at 20 years old? Yep, we ain't thinking about that, Jay Mills. At 20 years old, you're not thinking about that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But like I said, when you get to a certain age, you start realizing, damn, I've been lusting after this ass for years and years. And where has it gotten me? You know what I mean? Where has it gotten me? Because like I said, every woman, there's so many women on this earth that have a fat ass, they have a nice body, you know, their skin is supple. At least that's what it looks like. Skin luminous. You just look at them and you're like, man, I could just sop you up with a biscuit right now. That's the thoughts of us men. We have so many of these thoughts. You know what I mean? And like I said, it gets to a point where you get to a certain age and then you start looking deeper into this woman. Because a lot of the things going on in society now, you know, this whole gender war that's happening between men and women, it's really sad to see this. Oh, men ain't shit. Men ain't this. And then you got men on our side. Oh, women, all they want is money. All they want is the wallet. All they want to do is open up our wallet and see if we got it. And if we don't got it, we don't get nothing. It's back and forth on social media. It's like a back and forth brawl on social media. And that's all it seems like they care about. So it's like, what do you do as a 20-year-old? How can you gain an understanding of the world at 20 years old? Especially if you don't have any role models. Because not every guy is going to give you the wisdom that you need at 20 years old. Some guys in our life, we're just going off of what we want to do. The selfishness comes in. And a lot of times they're not giving you the advice that you need. So this is the reason for this live. I wanted to get on here and just kind of give you guys some advice. Start looking. I know it's early. You're 20 years old. You're young. You just want to move around the way you want to move around. But understand this. Understand this. Move with intelligence. Don't just move around carelessly and think you're going to be successful. Yes, you are young, but you have to understand that you have to have a certain guidance in your head. And that's where God comes in as well. Thank you, Jay Mills. You kind of read my mind just now with that. You have to attach your mind to God. First and foremost. That's the first advice I'm going to tell you. Attach yourself, spend time with God, have him lead you to the way that you need to be. Because if you're not being led by God, you're going to be led by the devil. And he knows your lust. He knows what you like. He knows that woman with the fat ass that's sitting over there. He's going to entice you every time with that person that is going to mess you up. Trust me when I say this. And if you are not led by God, like I said, it's only going to get harder for you. Even though you're 20 years old, even though you're 25, 26, 27, doesn't matter. Focus on God first. Next is what I'm going to say is with the finances. Figure out how you can start investing early. That's another tip that I wish someone would have taught me. Figure out how to invest your money at an early stage. So when you get to your 30s, your 40s, you have money saved up. You have money saved up and you are at a certain level when you get to your 30s or 40s. So you're not out here working all of these frivolous jobs trying to figure it out. You don't want to do that. I see people in their 50s, 60s still working like a dog. That's not cool. Like, to see something like that is very discouraging. When you see people and you feel like they should be retired, and you just feel like, why is this person still working? Why are they still working? And you just look at them like, I don't even know why you're still working, to be honest. Understand you need to invest your money. Invest in the stock. See what's out there where you can get a return of your investment. So that way, when you get to 30s, 40 years old, you can understand that, okay, now I'm set up. Now I have a savings account. Now I have a net, a safety net. In case things go wrong with my job, now I have a safety net to fall on if things go crazy. Next, I'm going to say, please understand that you need to start focusing on your passions early. Look into your passions and see what you love to do. Now is the time to really explore and figure out what you love to do in this world. Because with your passion, you can monetize your passion. And when you monetize your passion, it's no longer work. You're no longer working anymore. Once you monetize what you love to do, you are at another level, past everyone else. Because a lot of people in this world are doing something they don't love to do. They're doing jobs where they hate. They get up early in the morning and they hate what they do. They have an alarm clock to go to a job, to sit in traffic, be out on the roads for almost the entire day, just to sit at a job that they hate. That's not a life that, if we could design, we would be living this life. That's not a life we want to live. But it's the reality. It's the reality of most people in this country. We work in jobs only to put food on the table. We're not working jobs because we love to be there. Most people don't love their jobs. So you got to understand, this job is to get me to point A to point B, but also I need to understand, what is my passion? What's my reasoning for waking up every day? What makes me happy? In your 20s, you should be trying to figure this out. It's not all about just fun and games at 20. Because when I was 20, to be honest, when I was 20, it was mostly about fun and games and girls. I'm being dead honest. And if I can go back and change my actions and change how I did things, I would definitely tell myself, start investing, start understanding that I need to take care of myself first before I even look for a wife. Because at 20 years old, first of all, you're not looking for a wife. You're looking for fun. You're looking for fun. You're looking to go out with girls, you know? You're not looking for marriage. But the thing is, if that is the long game, right? If marriage is the long game, if eventually you do want to settle down, you got to have a plan. You cannot wait for the last minute to say, all right, so let me get settled now. Let me see who's out here on these streets. No. Now is the time to start understanding, get yourself together first, but then at the same time, understand you're attracting the woman that's meant for you. Your woman is going to come to you, and you have to be ready when she gets there. You can't be still playing around when that woman that God is sending to you, you cannot still be playing around, because God will take that woman away from you and give that woman to someone else, and you will lose that blessing. Trust me when I say. And the thing about a good woman, you're going to notice when you have a good woman. It's not only going to be about how fat her ass is. Trust me when I say this. It's going to be about how good her heart is, her good intentions. Is she considerate? Does she love to serve God? All of these things are going to be the things that matters for a wife. Not how much she can twerk. None of that's going to matter. And I'm telling you this as a grown man. None of that's going to matter. Trust me when I say this. Don't let social media sit up there and play in your face, because they're playing in a lot of our faces. They know what the algorithm is going to be affected by. They'll throw out sexual images in front of us all day because they know it's going to get clicks. The algorithm knows what's going to get a click, and it knows what's not going to get a click. Imagine if the algorithm started understanding that men was liking, for example, I'm making an example. Imagine if the algorithm was placing maybe social media ads of women on the screen reading books. Can you imagine if us men started looking at women that are reading books and like getting smarter, getting wiser? Thank you, chicken. I appreciate you. Can you imagine? The algorithm would get so confused. It'd be like, time out, hold up, wait a minute. I thought they were just looking at the ass. They just double tap the screen for that, but now they're looking this way. What is going on? Do you know how confused the algorithm would be? And honestly, it's a lesson that most of us can use right now. It's a lesson that we all could use. It's time to change the narrative that the algorithm wrote. It's time to change the narrative. It's easy to sit out here and look at all these beautiful women, because there's a lot of beautiful women. But the issue is, for men, there are select men that are selecting women solely based on their beauty. And I'm not saying the relationship wouldn't work if you select just for that. What I'm saying is that's not the reason you should select a wife. Not only just solely because of that. Yes, you should be attracted to your wife. That should be mandatory. You got to be attracted to your woman. But at the same time, what else is your woman bringing to the table? And here's a red flag for you 20-year-olds. If a woman ever tells you, when you ask the question to a woman, what are you bringing to the table? If she ever replies, I am the table, run the other way, quickly. No woman should be telling you that she is the table. First of all, you have two legs. A table has four. What's holding up the other end of the table? Tell me what you're going to add to the table for us to have a tag team, a successful tag team at that. That's the question. But a lot of women, new women on social media, they'll tell you, I am the table. And you know why they say comments like this? It's because there are men out here that will make them feel that way. They'll give them money. They'll give them all these things, dinners, trips. But that's supposed to be designated for a wife, shouldn't it? Or at least it should be designated for someone that you're actually serious about and that you can actually get reciprocal awards from. Not just a woman that looks good. Because then you're just wasting your time. Because that same woman that's saying she is the table, I can almost guarantee you, she's not reciprocating. She's not giving you anything. She thinks just because she has a fat ass, makeup, dresses well, that's all she has to do. And some men are good with that. Some men have accepted that, and then it just became like this. It became like this whole. It just kept going. A lot of men started to think this way. If she's beautiful, then yeah, I guess I'm gonna believe that she's the table. And that ain't the way to be thinking. That's not the way to be thinking. So 20-year-olds, don't get caught up in that. Do not get caught up in that. Whatever you do, focus on yourself. Work on yourself first. Your woman is coming. She's coming. You may not be ready for a wife now, and that's understandable because it's early. But what I tell you now is work on yourself and understand that good things are going to come later on. When it comes to being serious with a woman, understanding what's the woman to pick. Don't think with your dick. It's easy to fall in line like most men thinking that way, and then you end up in a horrible situation. You end up with a baby mother. You don't want a baby mother. You want a wife. You want a mother of your child. Real talk. And the more you keep thinking with your penis, the more trouble you will become in. Trust me when I say, I have friends in the past that they didn't make the good decision when they were in their 20s. And then what ended up happening was they ended up getting multiple baby mothers. Multiple just horrible things started happening with them. So that's my advice for all you guys out there in your 20s. Heed this advice and just know that working on yourself is what's going to help you get to where you want to be in the future. So I want to thank everybody that joined the live. And I really appreciate all you guys. All right? So take care of yourselves. And I will see you next time. Thanks, chicken. Peace.